Hey everyone, this is Pat Mesiti coming very, very early, very, very tired. Didn't sleep much last night thinking just about some of these diabolical agendas that they have for people like you. It's no coincidence that Labor got in. Let me just say this. How does the guy that comes second come first? Only in Australia. The late great Barry Smith said that Australia was a prototype for a new world order, and I believe it. These globalists that are meeting right now in Davos, flying in their private jets, which they do every year, by the way, and then have the hypocrisy to talk to us about climate change and carbon emissions and everything else. And here's the biggest lie they're going to tell you. The biggest lie isn't that you're going to be, own nothing by 2030 and you'll be happy. But here's the greatest lie that they're pushing right now. That if you give the government money, you give them your vote, you give them their religion, they can change the climate. Well, let me tell you something. It's an absolute lie. You can't change climate based on a political status. You see, I was listening to Klaus Schwab yesterday, and he's talking about, or they're all talking about us eating bugs, not eating meat, and then having our own personal carbon blueprint where they can track what you eat, what you do, where you are. This is a spirit of Antichrist. It's a spirit of control. It's the same thing that they did for 2 years. Mind you, right now in Sweden, you can get in and out of Sweden, no problem. But you cross that invisible line over there at Davos into their meeting, unless you've complied, you can't get in. Let me tell you something, folks. The way they hit you is with economics and fear. And this is why you and I must be in our control of our finances. You can't rely on government. Let me just say this, and I want to give a warning to all my friends in Australia. By the way, it's the same all over the world. America, Australia, the UK. Inflation is here to stay. I'm telling you, and it's going to get worse. I'm not an economist, but I'm telling you, I know how this works. Secondly, interest rates are going to go through the roof, and many of you, unless you do something, are going to lose your homes. Here's the next thing is, there's going to be shortages. We've already seen it. In America, baby formula shortages. Do you think that the World Economic Forum and WHO is incapable of inflicting on our planet more diabolical acts to control food shortages? The answer is yes. To control petrol prices? Absolutely. This is absolutely diabolical. There's going to be more jobs lost in Australia because of this election and the agenda of the crazy Greens. They're already throwing their weight at Albanese because he turned around the boats. He needs the Greens to get stuff passed. They will hold him to ransom. Forget this manufacturing thing. That's not going to happen. Not under the Greens anyway. With their mad leftist agenda. Our schools are in trouble. Their goal to eradicate chaplaincies is so scary. You see, what's happened right now is in the last couple of years, are you aware that health funds have made a $2 billion profit? While all the while people are losing jobs, people are struggling to pay their mortgages. You see, Schwab said something very interesting. Klaus Schwab, this is what he said. The future is not happening. It's being built by people like this community. Did you hear what he said? They're building the future. They're building it. The elites, the guys that tell you you can't drive your car, but they're flying in corporate jets and using helicopters to land. Now listen to me very carefully, and I'm pleading with you and I'm compelling you. The only reason why I am able to do what I do is because I went and got a financial education. I'm not talking about accountancy and all that. I'm talking about understanding about money. I remember in 2001 when God spoke to my heart and said, take my message of economic empowerment to the outside world because the church doesn't want to hear it. And then when what you say works for them, you can use Goliath's sword to cut off his own head. And I have been able to teach out there in the secular economic empowerment strategies. Now this Wednesday, June 1st, I've got a special event with my great friend Sean. Sean has been teaching over 10,000 students how to trade. And listen, this is for beginners. I know it's daunting. I know some of you haven't done before, but you've got to diversify your income. If all you've got's a job and maybe a rental property, that isn't enough. We need to diversify. Just like investments need to diversify. You know, Sean, not only has he got over 10,000 students, but one of my former staff's mums, I know this lady, Sandra, generated $3,000 using his strategy while she was at a terminal waiting for a plane. Another great friend of mine, Christian brother, and he won't mind me mentioning his name, Dave Weston, $75,000 in just a matter of weeks. With me, Sean, when COVID hit, and I'm sorry to use that word, but when it hit, he made an investment for me that overnight generated 25,000 USD. And there's testimony after testimony after testimony. You need to be part of this event, even if you're just there to learn. You've got to get a financial education. You see, if we're using yesterday's methods in today's world, we're not going to have it tomorrow. We've got to be as wise as a serpent and as innocent as a dove. While we can occupy till the Lord comes, we should be. Now, whether you're a Christian or whether you're not, you're going to learn a lot from this. I'm telling you, it's going to change your world. It is for beginners and even for those that have had experience. I know that one of the ways that spirit of Antichrist wants to control is through economics. Just remember, you can't buy, sell, trade without that little mark. And we must use Goliath's sword. Listen to me, I know I'm speaking to people. You've got to use Goliath's sword to cut off Goliath's head. While we can use these systems and we can transfer the wealth of the world to the righteous, we should be doing it. We must be doing it. We've been told to do it. So guys, could I encourage you? Could I encourage you to be part of this? Last night I was pretty tired. I was just wanted to get you guys early because I know many of us are time poor. I'm going to encourage you also to pray. Listen, hope, wishing and praying is not a financial strategy. But there are strategies that we can use. Strategies that don't compromise our values, strategies that don't compromise our integrity, and strategies, watch this, that have testimonies after testimonies after testimonies. So be part of it. Next Wednesday, I'll be talking a little bit more about it, and just keep your eye on what's going on over there. The thing with Australia was we wanted change. 15% of the vote to the Freedom Parties. Now, the upside of that is that next time it's going to be bigger and better. The fight's just started. We're not laying down just yet. So can I encourage you, be praying, be diligent, get this word out. I'll put the link for this webinar in the chat. Please remember, our spots are limited. We don't have thousands that we can get on there. We've got about 500 spots, and when they're gone, they're gone. Yesterday, I launched out to my database. Today, I'm coming to you, our Facebook, Instagram, Telegram, Rumble, and YouTube family. Get on board, register now, and I know it can empower you. We need to do what we can do, and then let God do the rest. God bless everybody.